Good evening and welcome along to our Wigan Athletic live stream, episode 7. I nearly said 6 again. We could have had a repeater yesterday. Thank you for all of those waiting. Great to have so many of you in already. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Come and say hello in the comments. And it's great to have you all along because we've got a hectic Christmas schedule, as is always the case in the EFL. And we've got Wigan Athletic in a very good position. We've played 3 games off camera against the sides expected to be at the bottom, and they were all comfortable. We'll go through them in a minute and then we'll get into the games. We'll try and get 4 or 5 in today, get to the start of the transfer window, and then we'll have big action to come next time round. Carl, thank you for being involved straight away. I'm sorry to hear that Ryan Shotton's long throws go downhill in Season 3. Luckily though, we're in Season 1 and they just started to work yesterday. So hopefully a few more of them to come. In one of the 3 games off camera, he did get another assist from a throw as well. He also got one from a cross too, I think. Meanwhile, I found a player called Niall Dennis, who's on loan at Burton at the start of the game. I got from Wolves for the second season, scored 8 goals in 4 games. Yeah, we had a look at him on Sunday, I think it was. And Burton are right up there in our stream series here. They're up in 4th place next to us. He's been scoring goals galore for him. So if we go and have a look, I see how many he's on now. Niall Ennis has got 15 in 15. He is, I mean, it's the combination of pace and great finishing, which this year, with the through balls working so well, is a deadly combination, I'm afraid, for most offences. Carl, Niall Ennis, superb. You got him for a free at Queen's Park. How do you keep getting these players at Queen's Park? Unbelievable. But thank you for everyone coming in. Great to have so many of you here. We've got 3 games to catch up on that we played off camera. They were all comfortable 2-0 wins, exactly what we expected. AFC Wimbledon, the basement side, Callum Lang got both. At home to Accrington, it was Lang and Hines. And then at home to Rochdale, it was Gilmore and Garner. So all looking good. We've got 4 away games out of 5 now though. And that includes the likes of Burton. That includes Fleetwood. And then 2 of the sides expected to finish a bit lower perhaps. Although Crew have started well. And we've got Shrewsbury who put us out of the FA Cup at the DW. So it looks like a pretty tough afternoon for us. And if we can stay at the top after this little spell, I'll be confident. Then the plan is that tomorrow we're going to play the 5 games in January as well as the transfers. So it'll probably be slightly longer tomorrow. And then we've got 3 more days after that, haven't we? So we've got to try and plan it carefully. If we're saying 5 or 6 then, we can do a bonus one on Sunday. Doesn't matter if that's a bit longer. But then we have to factor in what if we're in the playoffs. Because that'd be another one. And on Monday, unfortunately, I'm back to work, so I won't be able to do a bonus one if we overrun. Might have to do a double header of streams on Sunday. We'll see. But hopefully it won't come to that. We won't have to worry about the playoffs. So my plan is to perhaps get through the first couple of February off camera. Because then with 3 days, if we can get through, what's that, 9, 12, 15, 17 games. So that should be alright then. So the next 2 days are going to be busy ones. We'll play the 2 games off camera. We might play the odd one in the middle off. So like an Accrington, for example, or a Doncaster. Just so we can keep it to 5 and keep it to an hour and a quarter. But definitely that's the plan. We're up in 3rd place as a result of those brilliant victories. And we look like a good side now. And we're already into double figures. So thank you for all coming along. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. It makes such a difference. Helps people find us. And of course check out the channel as well. It's absolutely brilliant. It's great to have such growth on there. It's great to have such support on the videos. It's been brilliant for me. So thank you so much for it. And Bangor City was out at 3:30. And it's our first cup final today as well. So that's going to be an interesting one. Ryan Clark, thank you for coming in. Lovely to see another new face. Loving the Breaking save. This should be a belter too. Too kind. Thank you for the nice words. I'm loving Breaking with the head coach. It's something completely different. We've always started in England or Northern Ireland. So to get a lower division Scottish job, I've done it once on the channel briefly before, but not in this sort of head coach format. And obviously it looks like we've got a grand finale to that season now. He was a panic signing with me, Samurai, but he proved he was worth the money. Well, it looks like getting him for £500,000 is not a panic signing at all by the looks of things across the board. I go and raid the Premiership under 23s, Carl. Yeah, it's it's worth a go if you can, isn't it? Unfortunately, I can't really do that. I'll talk about some of the transfer problems with Bangor as we move forward. It'll make some interesting moments in next week's episode. And then, obviously, the head coach, I don't have any say. Charlie's back with the food. Not with this bake-off stuff again. I'm not a big fan of Bake Off. There was some slight surprise in my household from the other members, but let's be honest, Charlie. I mean, it's really not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, is it? Sorry. I'm not as upset about the Bake Off thing as you, I'm afraid, and I know that will wind you up even more. Nevsky, hello, welcome along. How are you doing? Happy catching it live. Watch most of these on replay. Thank you for coming in. Whether you're watching live, whether you're watching on replay, whether you're watching a video, putting a thumbs up on, watching an advert, whatever you're doing, it all supports. So thank you for that. I'm doing well. Hope you guys are too. And fingers crossed you've all caught Bangor City today. If not, you'll be able to catch it afterwards. And this one, if you've missed any of the start or any of the series, there's a link to all of them in the eye above somewhere. I've got 15 more Premiership under-23s on my shortlist as well. I used to do it in the sort of one club English stories. You know, when you got that, I wouldn't go and get players, but I would put a scout basis for under-18s who are out of contract in a year. And I would also do the 10 that come up in a news report that are getting released by their club, the youth players, and I'd always scout them. And that's where we get a lot of ours from. So we've got to make a few changes today due to injury. It's not looking particularly great. Jack Clark is unfortunately unavailable. Who normally plays on the left? So Hines can come back in and Otterball will start on the right. We rotated a little bit in all of the games against those bottom sides. And I'm just trying to look at where else we can squeeze people in. So in terms of defensively on the bench, I think Joel Lynch can do that job. Tom Pearce came in at left back because Palmieri was out, but they can swap back today. In midfield, Palmer came in for Evans. He'll drop back onto the bench. We had a threat from Frank Lampard about recalling Gilmore because we weren't playing him in the defensive deep-lying playmaker role rather than as an advanced playmaker. And I got in a bit of a strop with him. I said, how could you say that to me? Craig Bakeoff's still a thing. That's similarly my thought. Yeah, Craig, I've got to be honest. I've not seen many people so disappointed by it. Are you getting rid of Salah in FPL? So for me, I mean, I'll be honest, the last couple of years I've been very lax on Fantasy Premier League, but obviously Salah will have to come out for this weekend for anyone. He definitely won't feature. Tom, favourite US Office character? Now, if you were speaking to my other half, she would be able to give you a wonderful answer to that, but again, not a big fan of watching it. The only thing I know is Steve Carell's in it, and he's a funny bloke, so we'll go for his. See if that's the right answer without ever watching it. By the way, I ended up watching that Derby video on your podcast. Good video. Thank you for the kind words. I'm sure Charlie and Craig will be happy to hear that as well. We just try to be measured and balanced. And I know sometimes it's hard for fans when you're in that raw emotional state. Sometimes like the logical solution or something that might be good for the club but isn't exciting is not always what you want to hear. And I kind of get that. But generally it's worked out okay. I'll be interested to see how Tony Pulis gets on at Sheffield Wednesday as well. And for the podcast, our championship predictions for this weekend, they'll be out tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, it looks like the Derby game might or might not be on yet due to the Bristol City COVID situation. But it is what it is. It's something that can't be controlled at the moment. I'm going to bring, I think, Ryan Tunnicliffe onto the bench. I think that's as strong as we can be. I'm a little worried that a lot of these players aren't fully match fit. But I think we have got a week off here. Oh, we haven't. We've got Crew away in 3 days. So how do we deal with this? Because we can't keep rotating. I'll put Satut back in for Abate. But I don't know where else to go with it. Callum Lang perhaps gets a rest? I don't know. I really don't know what to do here. I'll tell you what. Did Callum Lang score in the last game? I don't think he did. So we'll give Lang a rest and we'll bring in Joe Garner. And we'll just try and do one at a time. So that's going to be the lineup for today. Fleetwood away, and this is a tough game. It's where it'll probably all start going wrong. We've got 5 interviews in the next 4 weeks coming up on the podcast as well. There's going to be some crackers on there. So fans of a lot of clubs will have someone to be entertained by. So if you as a Derby fan, and for me as a Luton fan, I've interviewed Mark O'Brien, who formerly played for both of our clubs, was once a great youngster coming through at Derby. Unfortunately had injuries and health issues, but still had a really good career, and he was interesting to talk to. Absolutely seems if you get Wigan back to the Premiership and beat City in the FA Cup final. I don't know that we'll get that far in this save. If we go, as I said before, if we go up or stay down, then we will carry on this stream for another season. But obviously you can vote for the long-term live stream series over on the community page as well. That vote's open till the end of Sunday. Now, since I mentioned it in yesterday's episode, Dundee United has taken a little bit of a lead, and a good 5% lead at that. So if you don't want to see Dundee United and you want one of the other three, you better go and have your say, because it might be getting out of favour soon. Or out of hand, sorry. Can we have your other half's favourite? I'll get you the answer for tomorrow, Tom. I will make sure I get you an answer to that. And please text me at 4 tomorrow so I remember. We'll put it in the Discord, because otherwise I'll just completely forget. Yeah, Craig, as Craig says, thank you, Samurai. Appreciate the kind words. Terry should get shot on from Fleetwood Town. Yeah, couldn't disagree. Will FM21 update the substitutes rule? So I don't think they will, Craig, because I think Miles Jacobson said the data lock was the day before yesterday, because people were asking about the Wrexham takeover. So I think it's probably just been missed. Nevsky, how do you vote for it? So when you go, I think you probably have to do it on either mobile or desktop. L Gaming, welcome along. No worries for being slightly late. Thanks for coming in. Half time's 0-0 here, and we've been outplayed. But in terms of voting for the live stream save, from my channel page, so when you're on one of my videos or whatever, if you click on my icon, you'll go to the channel page. Then one of the tabs there is community. There's like videos, playlists, home, etc. Go to community, scroll down a little bit, and there will be the vote for the live stream series. So the options are Ballymena United, because I know a lot of people wanted to see Northern Ireland again after Cliftonville. Probably the best success in FM20 on the channel. Then we had Luton Town, obviously the club I support, for emotional rash decisions. Oh, we've just conceded an awful goal. It's hit Vickers on the back of his back, I think. And then we had Dundee United and then Stevenage, who obviously got that reprieve last year. We were going to try and take them up the EFL. So go and have your say. I think I might have to drop to balanced here. I'm not really sure. We've had far more chances, but no real quality efforts. And the expected goal says a lot. But I'm not sure who to keep on and who to take off. I'm going to replace Gilmore with Palmer. And again, it's got to be the tired ones, I think. Otterbour's had a good game. Garner's been poor, so Callum Lang will have to save the day. And then it's either Offerball or Shotton. But I'm going to go for Offerball and replace him with Sanchez. So let's get the 3 subs on. I mean, there's not much we can do about this. We're just going to demand more. We knew Fleetwood away was the tough one. That's why we were coming back for it. The Wire or Breaking Bad. See, I'm a bad person to ask again. I barely watch, and I'm sure the people who know me well in this chat will say, I barely watch anything outside of sport and a bit of comedy in the evening. So I'm a very boring man when it comes to that sense. Don't really watch any drama, any thrilling stuff. Anything with action in, basically. I'm far too lazy. Why are our National League predictions so bad? Do you mean yours, Craig? Because all 7 of the teams you put for the top 7, as we've managed to equalise, are in the bottom half at the moment. It'll come round. It's early doors, Craig. Don't forget when we finish, I always use the example in streams, with Luton, 100 points, 100 goals. We were 14th after 10 games. So don't worry about it just yet. There's a couple that I'm not sure about. The Yeovil one came out of pretty much nowhere. I mean, your Barnet one was always looking a bit weird to us. But there are a couple of strange ones so far. But the likes of Notts County and Wrexham, and even Dagenham and probably Boreham Wood will all be up there later on. Just give them a little bit of time to settle in. Oh no! What a way to concede. 92nd minute. We're going to have to go attack him, but we ain't coming back from that, are we? Wrexham might be alright. Yeah, good win last night. Elliot Durrell's goal, as I said on Discord, his winner was a good strike as well. Tom's not watched both, so you can't give fair points there, can you? I've just voted Luton personally for the mainstream save. Absolutely. The reason I picked those 4 is because I'd be happy to do any of them. And at some point this year, whether it's on camera or off, I will try them. I've mentioned looking towards the future as well. Like when I was a teenager, I used to do a lot of posts on the Sports Interactive community and that. Is if I ever got to the stage where this was part of my job and I had to include things like memberships and Patreon and that. So way off yet. But then the series that I do off camera, I could potentially do as a blog save for patrons thing, just as an extra example. So there's plenty of opportunities with that. But I'll probably try all 4 of them over the year. It's just 1 or 2 of them will be on camera. And even the one that finishes second, I'll probably leave so I can do later in the year if we finish. The chat's very active. Thank you all for coming along. Please chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. It's great to have so many of you in and saying hello. It does make a difference. Ryan's asked a good question. As has Tom, will you be drinking at the cricket? I always have a couple at the cricket. I just don't go mad like everyone else. I'm not a big drinker. Ryan, what's been your most challenging FM save over the years? So I always used to love the San Marino challenge, which was San Marino had a club side playing in the Italian leagues, and then the San Marino national team. And you used to try and bring through the San Marinese youngsters at the Italian club and get them to the top of the game against Juventus and AC Milan and the likes, which was always quite comfortable. But then to get those players 5-10 years later at a high enough quality with your academy to play in the San Marino team. But that team in real life disbanded a year and a bit ago, so unfortunately that's not to be. So that would always be one of mine. I'm trying to think of other exceptional ones. I guess the Luton -30 season for FM09, because it was when we went over to the 3D match engine, and that was the first year. That was quite a challenge. So they'd probably be my pick-outs to start. But the head coach is always the most challenging. That's why I like it. We've had 3 years of it on the channel. We've always had at least one sacking. So that tells you all you need to know. El Gaming, new owner bounce. What's your favourite comedy show? I know it's old school, very childish, whatever, but whenever we're going to sleep in the evening, we always put a bit of Family Guy on in the background or something. I love Taskmaster as well. Great programmes. Just moved from Dave to Channel 4. But that's a good fun. But animated, it'll probably be Family Guy. El Gaming Friends, not for me. I've never really got it, to be honest. And I know I'm going to get pelters for that. Yeah, Tom can confirm, I have got no interest beyond food and sport. And Tom's known me for over 20 years of my 27-year life. So he will be able to confirm that well. And he is absolutely spot on, and I will not argue with it whatsoever. Peep Show by far. Craig, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I genuinely don't think I've heard of that. El Gaming, Boreham Woods. They're a good side. They got in the playoffs last year. They'll do well. Trust me. They'll be up there. Carl, where do I vote for the stream? So as I said earlier to a couple of others in the comments, if you go click on the link to my homepage, which is just the icon under the video basically, you'll go to my homepage. Along the top, go to community, which is next to videos, playlists and all those tabs. And just scroll down a little bit and there's a vote in one of the community posts there. I post on there every couple of weeks or so it's always good to go and have a check. Nevsky's voted Luton, good to see. That's an unfortunate late goal, Samurai. You're spot on there. Unfortunately, it's not the best start, but that's why we picked this game to come back, because we knew it'd be the next big challenge. What I am a little bit worried about is the fact that we've now got another game 3 days later with most of the squad injured. Is what it is. Craig, only fools and horses. Yeah, bit before my time. You and Charlie were probably just old enough. Nevsky, welcome to the Voted for Luton gang. Yeah, most of the guys in the regular stream chat always vote for Luton for some reason. I think you just like to see me suffer and making rash emotional decisions. Derbyshire Cricket Club on games have Indian, Italian, Chinese, Japanese and of course English meals from different vendors. That sounds like a place I'd like to go to. Wow, that is, yeah, we need, Tom, that's the next ground we're going to, mate. Forget Trent Bridge and Edgbaston and all that, we're going there. Yorkshire Cricket Club. Tom lives literally out of his window. You can see it. You can see You can see Headingley out of his window. So we quite often go up. I stay at his, and then we go and watch the cricket there. The same for all of the Northern football games with Luton as well, because there's quite a few Yorkshire clubs in league in the Championship, and has been in the EFL. Craig, favourite game show? Well, I guess Taskmaster's a game show, so I'd go for that. If you went in traditional. Oh, good question. Very good question. I mean, I'm tempted to say Tipping Point because of Ben Shepherd, but it's not a great show other than that. I mean, growing up, it was always Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, so I'll stick with that. But I don't really watch any now, in truth. El Gaming Friends is funny. See, just... I don't know. The American humour I'm not so good with, unfortunately. I prefer the British sarcasm. All-time favourite video game minus FM. Well, Craig and Charlie will vouch for the fact. Pro Evolution Soccer 2 When we before lockdown, when we were recording our podcast, every Friday night we'd go to Charlie's. We'd do the episode for 45 minutes and then play 4 hours of PES 2 until 11 o'clock midnight every single Friday. So I can't not say that. In terms of hours, possibly LMA Manager 01 or 03. I put a lot of hours into them. But I think PES 2 would probably edge it overall. It would be incorrect of me not to say that, I think. Yeah, L Gaming's put Tipping Point in there as well. It was, for me growing up, everything that was a favourite was things that were available on free TV, because we only had 1 to 5 for the first few years. Like the TV in the room, you used to have the old VHS combi, and it was just the 5 channels on aerial and then a video. David Seaman's Goalkeeping Nightmares. Got a few hours of that. Great DVD if you haven't got it. The cricket ground in Derby was where the first FA Cup game happened outside the old Wembley. Lovely stat. Never knew that. I wonder if Craig knew that. He loves his football stats. I'll screen record on Discord so they can see it. Had about 100,000 people there at that FA Cup tie. Wow. Not even sure what Derbyshire's ground's called. Me neither, to be honest. The county cricket grounds. There you go. Indian feud over Chinese for me, won't be told otherwise. Oh, absolutely. If there's one choice, yeah. But if there's both going at a time, I'm not going to complain. I mean, I think me and Tom would probably go Thai over both. But, I mean, we're lucky in Luton because it's so multicultural. You can get so many different Indian, Chinese, Thai. The only one we haven't really got is Mexican, to be honest. It's the only one we miss here. But otherwise, we've got so much choice and so many brilliant takeaways and whatever else. It's fantastic. Craig's getting his vote in for Bruce's prices right. Fair enough. I'm probably getting demonetised for naming all these game shows again now. Jake, good evening. Welcome. Thank you for coming along. Do appreciate you popping in this evening. There's a couple of people, as we've got another signing to come in. And we're going to bring him in and let one go in January. But just so you can see him. Michael Duffy. A former winger from Dundalk, has played for Celtic, has played for Derry City, has played for Dundee. He was rated 4-star. He just popped up in a scout report. We bought him on trial, and he's the best winger at the club. So he can play inside forward off the left and winger on the right. He suits us perfectly. So I'm going to give him a couple of goes later in the year. I just think he's a really good addition. I have got to register him for the squad, which in the short term does give us a problem. But I'm looking at people who might be leaving soon. And I think it's going to have to be Martin Craney, as much as I don't want it. He's declining physically. We're going to let him go as soon as January hits. Probably Gary Roberts will go as well. He's wanted. If we can get a transfer fee for a couple, then great. And I'm hoping, don't forget, just before the window closed, we got that Tycoon takeover. Can we get 1 or 2 big ones in? You just don't know. So Jack Clark's still got a knock. What that means is... Where is Duffy? I'm sure I made him available, didn't I? Did I or did I not? Let's go back to registration. Where is he? Michael Duffy. I didn't. But I can't now, apparently. Who did I put in instead? Did I just put someone stupid in? Did I put Will Keane in? I put Will Keane in instead, that's why. Will Keane out, Michael Duffy in. And I think he might come straight into the 11 here. So for those of you wondering why we're a little bit slow along the ground here, it is purely because I've only got a one-screen setup. I'm not like the modern full-time YouTubers and streamers who have got 2 or 3 screens on the go. So I can only read the chat or play Football Manager at once, unfortunately. Craig, PES 2 normally ends with you winning, Charlie swearing multiple times, and yellow card records being set. Yeah, recording old games like that is quite difficult. Old game, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Loads of game shows popping out there. How many hours did I do on FM20? I don't know the true number. The number on Steam is just over 2,000. But at least a quarter of those will be idle time, where I'm eating dinner, I'm uploading a video. Because what I often do between episodes, while the games are playing, like for example, a Bangor, or when we were playing domestically with Cliftonville in FM20, when we were playing those league games, at the same time, I would be editing other videos on the screen. So I'd probably do quite a lot of idle hours. So I'd say realistically, probably about 1,500. Craig, no, you didn't. Favourite goalkeeper of all time? That's a good question. I mean, for me, it's only going to be the last 20 years, really. I always like the old school Premier League ones, the consistents, the Shay Givens, the Brad Friedels. But Craig and Charlie know what the answer will be. It's Gabor Kiraly. Because he is the grey tracksuit man and he inspired my outfit for 5 or 6 years of grassroots football. Too hard to choose one cuisine, it is. It really is. I always say Italian because it seems to have more versatility. But it's not my favourite in any stretch, so it's a hard one. It is difficult. I'm going to bring Duffy straight into the lineup. We're on the back of a defeat. I'm going to try and get some magic in. He's going to play off the right. Off the left, oh, I don't know. I'm going to bring Lang in up front. And I'm going to bring, I think, Nathan Dyer in as well. No, not Nathan Dyer. We'll leave it because Clark can come back in then. In midfield, we'll stick with the 3. I think we'll switch Sanchez for Offerball just to get a bit of rotation in. And I think I might rest Gilmore as well because away from home, probably need a bit more bite. At the back, Palmieri, the left back. He's just coming back, but the rest are fit. So Tom Pearce onto the bench for Lynch. And then the rest of it, I think, will be like that. I know it's a bit weaker, but we've got to get good at rotating here, because otherwise we're in big trouble. I think that's as strong as we can be. Into the second game of the day. Will it be another defeat is the main question. Let's go and find out. Let me catch up with the chat as well. Favourite batter, bowler, wicket keepers of all time. Batter and wicket keeper, MS Dhoni. Same as my favourite sports person overall. Loved the way he played under pressure. Favourite bowler. I mean, the obvious would be to go for Jimmy Anderson. But I always loved Murali. I loved the way he bowled. Rashid Khan is currently my favourite. He's a fantastic bowler. So yeah, probably along them lines. Samurai Michael Duffy seems a decent signing. Nevsky, he's a good signing. Duffy, yeah. Very good player. Not sure why he's rated so highly based on his recent years, but I guess Dundalk have reached the Europa League groups, haven't they? So he'll be playing again against Arsenal soon. You're part of the Luton Club as well. I've got a few along. Do you support or go to watch Luton Town Football Club at any point? Out of curiosity. Good club, Luton. James Justin scored for England under 21s last night. He did. Tom's part of the Appreciation Society there, yeah. Doing a fantastic job. And I'm sure if he gets an England cap, he will make Luton some more money. And the same for Max Aarons at Norwich. We're waiting for him to go for a big club. 10% sell-on clause there. As Shotton's got the long throw. Can it cause more havoc? It can't. It's been a bit of a poor game, this one. I've not seen a huge amount of it, but it's not been great so far. Thank you for everyone coming in as well. Same as yesterday, we're one thumbs up away from double figures. So please do if you haven't already. It makes such a difference and it's great to have you all along as well. Thank you for being so involved in the chat. If you haven't yet, come and say hello. Jake van der Sar, yeah, he was a brilliant keeper. That Fulham team, before it was ripped apart. I mean, they had Steve Finnan, Steve Malbronk. I mean, Finnan went on to play for Liverpool and win the Champions League. Malbronk was a top player. I know he got injuries later on. Legvinsky was a good player. Brian McBride was some start. Louis Sahar was there, wasn't he, up front? What a team that... It was John Tiggener, wasn't it? What a team he built there. And we're playing out from the back again. It's not been a bad performance, actually. It's just a little bit short on the quality side. Who has the better international team, Wales or Scotland? It's hard. Scotland have a better overall team, I would say. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. Wales have individual stars, the likes of Ramsey, of Bale. Scotland don't have many of that quality. But they've got a solid defence. They've got good players coming through. Tierney's young, McTominay's young. I mean, McTominay, by the way, he gets a lot of criticism. The spine he showed after making a mistake to step up and score a crucial penalty. You can't teach that bottle. I like the Wales squad as well. I've always liked Wales. But I'm pleased for both of them. Yeah, Samurai, I'd say the opposite. I'd say Scotland has better players individually across the board. Wales has a better team. Better individuals, sorry. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. Scotland have probably got a more solid base. I'd say their defence is better now, because I guess that's the area Wales are weaker. I know most of their back four's at Luton now, which tells you they're an average Championship back four. But if Joe Rodon gets off to a flyer at Spurs, Ben Davies gets back in form, they've got a couple of youngsters in there as well as Duffy. Oh, on his debut. He's offside. I thought he'd done it, but it's not to be. Lovely through ball again, though. Murley or Warren. Murley for me. I love watching him bowl. Both good bowlers, though. Top stuff. Jake, both really poor. I think that's a little bit harsh. To be fair. I think they're both good sides. Shot on his back. Big long throw. Scored against Dundee. El Gaming back in a bit. Thanks for popping in. Do appreciate it. You've gone for Warren and up the Luton. Absolutely. Back on Saturday against the most unpredictable team in the league in Blackburn. Jake, Louis Sahar. What was the fella who used to put a mask on when he scored in the Fulham team? Facundo Sava, yes. Didn't score enough, unfortunately. But yeah, I just had such a good team. I really liked watching them. And then he had some of those sort of old school steely people as well. They had like the Rufus Brevet was in there. He was always a good solid left back. As we're defending now, start of the second half. Doesn't look great, but we have won it back. I just worry about how long before we're forced into subs. Evans is knackered. The centre-halves are really shot, and it's problems in stoppage time. Do we concede another late goal again? Caelan Hines has had a poor game, and we're almost behind there. It's not a great start, this one. Iconic shirt too. Yeah, it was. I can't say the brand name, unfortunately. I did lose it yesterday for mentioning a supermarket. Craig, yes. The stream keeps buffering, but then again, I'm uploading a vid. Yeah, it looks excellent to me. Since we've had the internet, we've had no problems. So I think probably it is just because you're uploading a video. I can't do much when I'm doing that. So it probably is just the combination. How do you score from throw-ins? Either Syme, Wright and Shotton, because he's got the longest throw in the game so far by the looks. And then flood all your tall players into the box. Or I normally go for quick throw-ins when I've got wingers in the team and then just try and get early crosses in. It seems to have worked well at likes of Breakin in the head coach. So that seems to be the route if you haven't got a long throw specialist. So let's get these tired lads off. Hines will be replaced by Dyer. Duffy will play off the left, I think. I'm not sure which one's better as the winger, but I want Duffy to be an inside forward there. Midfield, Matty Palmer. Or, no, Billy Gilmore on. And then it's either Palmieri or one of the centre-halves. I think it's Palmieri. Tom Pearce on for him. Should we push Callum Lang up? I'm going to stick him as an advanced forward for now. Just see if we can get him further up. 15 minutes to go. It's 0-0. And we've got fresh legs on, going forward. Talking of Malbronk. Shot and scores from a corner. Good to see. Mark, welcome along as well. Thank you for popping in the chat. Talking to Malbronk, was he Belgian or French? Anyone else always struggled to remember what nationality a player is? I mean, he was always French, wasn't he? He played in a friendly. Didn't he play in a friendly against Belgium? But then there was something to say he might have been eligible for Belgium. We've gone ahead, and now we've got a long throw again. Shot and in. That's how you score from a throw-in. Long ball in, and Michael Duffy on his debut has wrapped up the 3 points and got us back in form. Ryan Shotton is coming to the party, even knackered like that. So Toot's in worse position, so Abate will start on Boxing Day. But it looks good. We're happy with that performance. So Toot's tired. He's really struggling. What on earth is going on back there? Vickers eventually saves, but that is unpleasant to say the least. The other goal must have been an OG or one of the lads who went off. Oh, why are we conceding these goals? That's 2 games in a row we've conceded a ridiculous lucky goal from a corner. Josh Vickers blamed for it. I'm not sure that's fair. But now into 4 minutes of stoppage time, we've got another grandstand finish. It's not really what we wanted, but Dyer slides it through. Billy Gilmore's in, and it's not a grandstand finish now. 3rd goal for Gilmore, 1st from open play, and Nathan Dyer's experience showing there. Fantastic. Belgian-born French. There you go. Craig's answered that one. Why do you start your long-term stories with a beta instead of waiting for the actual release date of FM? So something I've always done. The beta this year is as good as the full game. There's no massive issues. I've never encountered a big issue doing it. and I always prefer long-term stories. Don't forget, particularly on sort of YouTube and Twitch, a lot of the reason that people do a short-term beta save is so they can manage a big club or the club they support, or so they can be a big club and get more views from their fans, which I'm not really fussed about. My objective when I started YouTube was, as well as trying to create good content, was always doing the saves I would have done off camera to make sure it always remained a hobby as we move up to second, despite losing the game at the weekends. But yeah, it was just always to do the saves I would have done naturally. Normally the full game comes out, I start the head coach, I start whatever one club I'm doing, and exactly the same here. So Gary, that's the reason. I've never had a problem doing it. If there were loads of bugs and the beta wasn't a good game and we ended up having a massive issue one year, then I'd probably change that. But I've been doing that for however many years since they started doing the beta. And even before with the demo, I used to do it to the half season mark and then carry on. So I don't think there would ever be an issue with it. And that's why. Never forget Barry Hales at Fulham. Yeah, he was slightly earlier, wasn't he? But he was key in the promotion. So absolutely, we don't forget him. I'm going to do a South American save. Do you think Shotton will come and sign for me? Depends how much money you've got and which club reputation you've got. As I've said to you in the Discord, I'd love to, next year or the year after, if I've got a good enough PC, make it a worldwide or something a bit more. You know, I'd love to start in like an India, in a China or a South Korea. I'd love to start in South America or Mexico. It'd be something nice to do a bit different and just to have that full worldwide choice available. We've got to be careful with the players here. We're basically going to have to choose one fixture to concede this winter. Hamoud, welcome along. Series is going well. We've just crept up into second place. We lost the first game this evening, but we won the 3 off camera and we've already got back to winning ways in midweek. We're just struggling physically, so January can't come soon enough. Which country in South America? I mean, it depends where we get offered a job, doesn't it? There's loads of them in the game. There's Uruguay, lower division. I'm thinking lower divisions. There's Uruguay, there's Argentina, which has caused its own problems in... Oh, I've made a mistake. I've picked a position there. There's Uruguay, which is... Argentina's caused problems in the Bangor City save, sorry, because of our chairman and owner. And then Brazil's there. There's plenty of them. I'll try the MLS, yeah? Well, it's loaded in the head coach every year. So we could well end up there one season. Don't rule it out. It's definitely loaded. Nikolai, hello from Romania. Welcome along. Thank you for coming in. I think that's the, if I make that right, that's the 18th country we've ticked off in the live stream since we started. It's the one little thing I keep an eye on. So thank you for adding to the list. You're the 18th new nation that I've got a hello from in the live streams. Thank you for coming and getting involved, saying hello. Do appreciate you coming in. Lower divisions, Colombia. Yeah, that could be a good idea. Not a problem at all. Joel Lynch is looking to start more games. Oh, let's offer him a loan. It seems to keep them all happy. They're going to be devastated in February when they haven't got one. Oh, look, Sol Campbell's got the Wimbledon job there. They were bottom of the league. And just above them is Shrewsbury, who we've got at home next. So I don't know whether to guarantee 3 points with our first team there and then give up the Burton game away at a good side like with Niall Ennis, or do I risk resting a few against Shrewsbury and then save everyone for Burton? Going to be a tough question, that. Thank you for everyone coming in as well. It's great to have so many of you here. Please do, after this, if you haven't already, check out the Bangor City save from today, the video, sorry, and give the head coach a try if you haven't yet. The first episode has passed 2,500 views, which is remarkable for a channel my size. So thank you for your support with it. I'm glad you're all enjoying it. I'm glad you're getting involved. And if you're new along, please do subscribe. There's plenty coming. Daily videos at 3:30. And this stream series will continue at least for the rest of this week. Unfortunately, I'm back to work on Monday, so I'll have to work something out from then. But we've got tomorrow and Friday at 5:30, and then Saturday and Sunday at 10:30 in the morning. Live streams from Wigan Athletic all season for the rest of this week. So let's just get through the press conference. I've just agreed to sign someone there, I think. I don't know who it was. Oh, Curtis Tilt. That's okay. We wanted to look at him anyway. Oh, look, Emerson Boyce is happy with me. Now I know something's going right. Luton legend, Wigan legend. He's very happy. Tim Flowers at Shrewsbury. Obviously, he was the unfortunate man who took the Macclesfield job just before they went bust. It's a bit of a strange summer, that. He came in, they started signing players, and then suddenly they're out of money and out of business. Who's that? Kalen Hines developing well. Only 22. And that's the thing, we have bought a few younger players in as well, so it's not all bad. Dan Gardner's out the squad, so we don't need to worry about him. The same for Martin Craney, the same for Will Keane. And then Owen Evans can go in that squad as well. Hamoud Escobar would be playing in the lower division in Colombia. Yeah, absolutely. Who's the biggest channel in FM? Is it Zealand? I think it's probably worth the space, 100,000, isn't he? I don't know how big Zealand's is. Lelujo's not far behind. He's about 80,000. So yeah, they're probably two of the biggest ones. I know Dr. Benji's around that mark as well. So they're they're the big three realistically, aren't they? So we've got to Boxing Day, Shrewsbury at home. Let's have a look at the lineup we're going to go for. Again, we've got to rotate carefully here. Tilt needs a rest. So he's got to come out this game. Joel Lynch wanted football. In he goes. Right back, I'm going to bring Abate in. Or do I do that the next game? Because Satut's back to full fitness. Shotton has to stay in for the throw-ins. When we've got a rotated squad, we need our best option in terms of attacks. Offer ball back in. He gives us first choice. Billy Gilmore back in, but for Lee Evans. I'm going to bring Palmer in, I think, for Tunnicliffe. Because Tunnicliffe, I know he played well in the last game. And he's a Luton boy, or he's a Luton player, so let's get him in. Duffy played well off the left. Hines is tired. Is Jack Clark back? He is. So we'll rest Hines out of the squad entirely. Otterbour's back as well. He can come on the bench for Lee Evans. I think that's about as strong as we can do. I know that's a couple of big players out, but only Shotton that's not fully fit there. It's a gamble at home to a side that have beaten us in the cup already. But we had a much weaker side than this out at that point. Gary, what leagues did you load for the head coach series? I load the licence leagues because it gives me an interesting mix. So I load most of the European leagues, so sort of the bigger reputation leagues, tops tier. All of the UK leagues, including the lower leagues. I have the MLS, both leagues in China and Australia, just for the mix of continents. And then one or two odd others, but unfortunately my computer can't really handle more than that. It's only a standard desktop. It's not one of them fancy gaming PCs or anything. I can't compete with the big boys on that front. Because, I mean, to be fair, they make that in a month of donations, don't they? They've got a massive community. So that, hopefully later down the line, that sort of thing would be great. But, you know, my channel's much in its infancy in compared to those. So I certainly wouldn't expect that to happen soon. Azudo picks it up on the left-hand side. Into the edge of the box. Into there. Shotton clears it away. We're a little bit camped in here. I'm a little bit worried by it. A side that are second bottom of the league. But Tim Flowers, he didn't start the game there. So I'm guessing it's a new manager bounce. Oh, Josh Vickers is sharp off his line there. Does really well on the through balls. Try getting Mazza if you need a striker. I'd love to. But again, unfortunately, we can only sign players who have been found organically. We can't... Oh, we've let in a goal at the near post. Josh Vickers again. We've been woeful this first 10 minutes. But yeah, we can't use the player or staff search screen. It's only if they come up in a scout report, in a transfer rumour, we play against them and think they're good. Has to be natural. Or we can go to our club Luton Town and ask for a favour. Ball into the box, headed over. I'm so frustrated by this performance. Where has it come from? Tom, can you show us the second Chinese league? So I won't be able to in this save because I've only got the basics loaded. But in the head coach, when we're going job hunting, I'll make sure I have a look at it at some point. It's thanks to the big three of FM YouTubers that I found FM Scout site, which led me to finding FM Base, which is where I found your channel. There you go. That's a fantastic little turnaround. And the head coach in FM18 was my first ever series, I think. So I'm glad that's how you found it. I mean, I'd always been involved in the SI forums on sort of doing blog posts and that. So I knew that was important. And Lelujo was the one for me. Was the first one where I saw YouTube content. I'm going to get really angry. And most of them are demotivated, but they deserved it. That was a pathetic performance. Albeit we've conceded from our only shot, but we haven't created anything. As Gilmore in, off a ball scores. Another set piece, this time a free kick. But absolutely fantastic. Thank you all for your incredible support as well. I mean, the consistency of the high numbers in these streams since we started is incredible. I didn't expect this reaction to FM21. It has blown my mind. I sit there and look at the analytics occasionally. It does make me smile. I never expected it, to be honest. So thank you for your support. Now we've just got to go and find a winner here. If we can get promoted, it'd be brilliant. Give us a second season, perhaps. Although Udo's in again. He must have been off. It is disallowed. But he has caused us trouble all day long. I'm not quite sure why he's rated so well. It's not a name I'm particularly familiar with. But I guess since Luton have gone up, League One I've lost a little bit of knowledge of. We've interviewed a lot of players from League Two on the podcast, so I've kept quite a lot of knowledge there. But League One's just a little weird gap at the minute. Particularly with not being able to go to neutral games. As Jack Clark picks the ball up on the right, out to Satu, into Gilmore, and I'm worried I'm going to have to rest Shotton. But when it's level and we need a long throw, I don't know that we can do it. He might have to have the Burton game off, and we just live with it. Let me have a quick look at Udo. Oh, he's very good. Come from non-league, so good to see those sorts of players doing well as well. There's plenty of good examples of it. We're going to get Shotton to mark him. We're going to make a couple of subs, I think. So, Tunnicliffe's going to be replaced by Palmer. Duffy's not been quite so strong today, so he will be replaced by Otterbor. I think we'll leave it at those two for now. We'll keep one in the locker for 10 minutes. And we'll make a change if we need to. Gary, I found this channel when I looked up what a Director of Football Challenge was. I was going to say, the head coach, it's obviously not the biggest series on YouTube, but it's certainly probably original in that sense. There's not many that do. It's not just the Director of Football combined with a journeyman. And those who do the challenge probably don't do it as strictly at times. So I'm glad that's how you found it. It's one of the saves I've done for years, and I've always enjoyed it. And it was always going to be a no-brainer to bring to YouTube, especially once I saw no one else was really doing it either. So definitely my favourite, so I'm glad that's how you found it. And the head coach will be here for as long as I am, because it's my favourite as it stands. I always, on an individual year, quite often end up enjoying the One Club story more, or the Builder Nation, but as a series, the head coach is my favourite. Yes, it is, Samurai. Thank you for agreeing. Nevsky, thank you. It's always nice to have kind words. I do appreciate it, and it's been so frequent in the last week. I can't thank you enough. One of the best annual series on YouTube. You might be pushing it there, but you're very kind. Do appreciate it. As we've got ahead here, and now the job is to hold on. And that's what Joe Garner needs to be off the bench, a goal scorer. And he's brought it down here. I was hoping he could hold it up as well, but he hasn't. Lynch gets it away. And with a changed team, if we can win this game, I'll be happy. Otterbor struggles to keep it there. Walker over the top. Clark up to Wally. Sean Wally, a former Luton man. He's put in Leon Clark. And that's a good save from Vickers. I'm not quite sure how we hold on here. I don't know what the best approach is. We're going to defend the corner. I'll try not to spit the drink out if we concede, but we haven't so far. Leon Clark in, gives it away to Jack Clark. He goes down the line to Garner. Holds it up. He's got pace up with him. And it's a dirty foul there. I do not like that one little bit. It's only going to be a yellow because it's out wide. But Fossey knew what he was doing. And Garner wasn't going to get away from him. So it was a strange decision. But let's get the ball in with Gilmore. If we could wrap this up, I'd be very happy. Into the back post. Charlie Daniels heads away. In a relegation zone in League One. Look at the men they've got on the counter. It was 6-on-3. How on earth's that happened? So what we're going to do, we're going to drop to balanced. We're going to change our wing-backs to full-backs on defend, just so they don't get forward too much. I'm going to change Gilmore to a deep line playmaker on defend. And I think that's it for now. We can put winger on support for Clark, inside forward on support for Otterbor. And then over here, I think we'll just start the time-wasting tactics. If Craig's still here, he'll enjoy that. Be more disciplined, time waste all the time. In transition, slow it down. I don't really want to stop pressing, because that's when we lose our style of play. So I think we'll stick with that. To be fair, with Garner up front, we can push the attacking line back a bit. So that's what we're going for. We did throw it away late against Fleetwood, so hopefully we can keep it here. Carl Ryan does it again. He is a bit of a superstar here. What I've basically got to do every year in every save is scout for regens with a long throw of 20. Or new gens, sorry, as they are now. Jack Clark on the right. Can he get us a third? Just wrap it up into the box. It's missed by everyone. But Fossey recovers before Otterbourne and High brings it away. But at least we've got that base at the back now. Wally gets there on the right. Palmieri's back. Excellent. That's the tactical change working. I'm channeling my head coach, but Leon Clark's left unmarked. He's tried to chip the keeper and put it wide. But where on earth did the centre-halves go there? We've got away with it and we're going to win 2-1. And that was sort of a performance of champions. A late winner from a late substitute after what was a pretty average performance. And they can all say they were demotivated from me throwing the teacups, but it worked, didn't it? And as long as it works, I'm happy. We're now 3 points ahead of MK Dons in second. 6 behind Blackpool, who are still flying, although they did lose at home to Rochdale there. So that will be an interesting one. Ryan Shotton's knackered. We're going to have to give him the Burton game off, I think. We didn't do great there. Let's go and have a quick look at Blackpool as to why they're doing so well. They're top of the league. Who did they sign? Nobody. Nobody added at all. I know they signed Keshi. Obviously, Tom will know. He went to our school, but they signed him and they haven't sold anyone. They've not really done anything. Well, they've got Luke Garbutt in the summer, so they've actually got a decent team. I don't know that they should be running away with the league like they are, but they've got a lot of pace and a lot of quality, so sort of makes sense with a tactical style. So we've got Burton and Swindon to go over this Christmas period. Burton in 6th, Swindon much lower down in 17th, but it's a tight league, and we've got to rotate a lot. So we'll try and get through those 2 games. You know Steaua Bucharest? Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Cluj were quite often in Europe, so they're a side that we kept an eye on. So yeah, I remember watching Romanian sides in Europe. Probably not quite so much now. I know Dinamo Bucharest have been in occasionally as well recently, haven't they? In European competitions. I'm just trying to think if there's any more that have been in there recently. If I go to the Romania national team now, will it give me the chance to see the league? Because a lot of good youngsters come through in Romania. I'm trying to think. Astra, they've been in Europe, haven't they? In the last couple of years. I remember seeing them. But yeah, it's mainly the 2 Bucharest and Cluj that are commonly on our TV screens in the UK. So I'd say probably those 3 mainly. Do you support a Romanian side? Or do you only do you support a UK side? Who do you support? Now, here's something I've forgotten to think about. Solomon Otterbourne is out of contract in a week. Now, with Duffy signing, we could let him go. He's not been great, but he has contributed 4 assists off the bench, and he's electric quick. I'd rather keep him, but he's on £1.5 grand a week, and if he wants a big wage rise, we're just going to have to nip it in the bud. So what does he want? I'm not going to offer him that. I'll offer him 2. And if he wants more, we'll probably have to leave it there. Depends how much he goes up by. 2.9. I think you're pushing it. Let's go 2.2. We're definitely not going to go big here. And he keeps asking for more than 2.5, which is something I'm not willing to do. And I know this isn't the best viewing, but I have to negotiate down. And if he's going to have 2.4, he has to let some of the other stuff go as well. There we go. So it looks like Otterbourne will be staying. He's a good 24-year-old winger. I mean, in theory, he's going to be worth money in the future. But we are coming up against the dreaded Niall Ennis, who everyone seems to have in their saves now. So unfortunately, Nikolai, in this save, I've only got the UK leagues loaded. So none of the Romanian players will show. But I've got the Romanian league loaded in the head coach. So I'll go and have a look at them afterwards. I'll feed back for you. But I could end up managing in Romania in the head coach. There's nothing to say we won't. The league's loaded. It's just whether any of them offer us a job. I will have a look at a couple just in case. But I don't think there will be here. Unfortunately not. So we're 1 day away from Burton. And I guess the big question is, which one's going to be in a worse position? Because that's something that we've got to contemplate as well. We are almost at the halfway point. And I'm imagining it's going to be a busy January as well, because I'm hoping we'll get a bit of budget at last. Billy Gilmore's got the flu. I'd love to send him home so it doesn't spread, but 1 to 2 days is the one we need at the moment. He'll miss the Burton game and then play Swindon. That's natural rotation for us. If you need a UK team, support Luton Town. Craig's got it right there. Thank you for everyone coming in as well. Still flying up on the viewers. It's great to have you all along this evening. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. Come and get involved in the chat. Moritano. I'll make sure I have a look at him in the head coach. I'll post him in the Discord so people can see, and on Twitter. So I'm just trying to look at the contracts to see if there's any more news. We've got one youngster who's 2-star there. He looks okay. We've got a lot out in 6 months, but they're all of the older players. Plus Vickers in goal, who's been interesting. And then most of the kids out on loan. So I wouldn't say, bar Evans, there's any stars. And Evans is the only one they're saying wouldn't sign a new deal. Who's unhappy at the club. So, ironically, if we do go up, next season might be a weaker squad and more difficult. So let's look in terms of lineup today. Gilmore is shattered. He has to go. He's not going to be able to play in this one. So Gilmore's out. I just wanted to see on my set pieces who was second on the throw-ins for long throws. I think it's Satoot, isn't it? Oh, Abate's got a long throw. So, as long as when we put Shotton out, we get Abate in, we should be alright. 14's not bad. It's not the long flat bullet throw that Shotton's got, but it is still a fairly long throw. So let's get Abate in at right back. Let's give Shotton the rest he needs. So we'll bring back Curtis Tilt. Lynch can move over to the right. That's how we started the season, of course, before we got Shotton in. Palmieri will start this one, and then he'll be rested next time. Just trying to match them up a little bit. Offerball's fine. I'm going to bring in, I think, Evans. Evans and Palmer in the middle. Or do we go Tunnicliffe again, just because he's got that bite away from home? And it's less rotation then as well, isn't it? So let's stick with that. Jack Clark's tired again. It's a shame he hasn't got fitness. He's such a good player. And I'll bring Otterbor in on the right, I think. Although Caelan Hines is back, so he could start. Hines on the left, Duffy on the right. Otterbor on the bench instead of Clark. And then that frees us up a lone spot defensively, which can be used by Darnell Johnson. So I think, we're rotating the best we can at the moment. We're not having any disasters. We've got Garner on the bench who can get goals. And it's only Palmieri who's not fully fit there. So I'll keep Pearce on the bench instead of Naismith. I'm not actually sure there's much between them. But we've got enough wingers on the bench anyway. So we'll keep Pearce on the bench. There we go. Burton v Wigan. Penultimate game of the afternoon. We'll see how we get on. Craig supports Stour. Fair enough. A good side, definitely. One that I'd quite like to manage in a head coach, actually. Because I guess they're one that, when we were growing up, were the biggest side by a long way in Romania. But then, obviously, Cluj came along and they started to dominate financially, I guess. And Dinamo Bucharest have given a challenge in recent years. So, it would be interesting to take Stour back to the top, get them into Europe in a good stage. You might have given me an idea for the future. Get Abate to train on the long flat throw. Probably no point in the mid-30s, to be honest. He's only going to be here for this season. I know he's got a 2-year deal, but we'll sell him at the end. And he's already declining, so he probably won't pick it up. If we get a good one in the youth intake, though, at any save, we'll definitely go for it there. Now, this game's a bit different to most of the others. We're probably hoping for a boring 0-0. I'd take it right now. It's going to be an interesting one to say. We've got a free kick here. Is that Evans taking it? It is. Oh, it's a great effort. It's a brilliant save by O'Hara. I'm sure he's a United youngster, isn't he? Kieran O'Hara, or was at some point, if he's left since. And a long kick finds Ennis, but it's well defended. And it's good that we've got 2 fully fit centre-halves in for that. Probably the ideal game to rest Shotton, as he's just declining physically and might not have been keeping up with him. Tunnicliffe to Evans. We're looking for that ball over the top. He goes right to Duffy. Playing out on the opposite side today. Gets into the box. Brilliant run. And just into the side netting. Doesn't quite get it right. And I'm just going to go and get the league table in here. Because it is starting to get to that stage where we need to look. Here's Abate's long throw. Oh, it's not far off. Abate's long throw causes chaos. I'd argue that looked just as good as Shotton's, to be honest. So, no training required by the looks. Half-time, it's 0-0, but we're happy with that. Craig James Collins starts for Ireland. He thoroughly deserves it. I wish it had been the other way round, because he's going to play on Saturday for us, isn't he? But he deserves it, definitely. I mean, last time they played at home to Bulgaria, he scored. It was his first start for the country, wasn't it? So, great to see him in. And he just deserves it. He's such a good player. He works so hard as well. I don't really know where Luton would be without him, both in an attacking sense and defending set pieces. You saw the 3 games he was out suspended. I know Sheffield Wednesday we got the win. Not suspended, sorry. Isolating. I know we had the win at Sheffield Wednesday, but we didn't look great going forward aside. As Rolls gets it wide, Burton have started the second half much better here. Definitely a concern. We know what Ennis is like. And he only needs one chance, doesn't he? 18th goal of the season. Abate fails to intercept. And for getting in the long throw, we lose a good defender. And now it's a corner for the home side. Ennis again. Oh, it's Bostwick in the end. Problematic, I would suggest. The start to this second half has been absolutely appalling after a dominant display in the first. So I'm going to berate them and see what we get. I'm going to have to make some changes as well. I should rest Palmieri, but I'm not going to, because I know that I'm going to rest him in the next game. So we'll take off Abate for Johnson. We'll take off Tunnicliffe, I think, for Matty Palmer. He's nervous, but he'll do a job, I'm sure. And then we're going to replace Caelan Hines or Duffy. Hines, because he doesn't look fired up. So we're going to bring Otterbor on for him, out to the right, and Duffy back on the left. Which I think is the front 3 we started with last time. Cluj is the oldest team. More player from other nationality, yeah. And that I'm sure there was a stage where they had big money in the last 10 years. Or 10 or 15 years. I'm probably losing my history a little bit. But Stout in 2 matches, just Romanian player. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, European Cup winners. They're a massive side. In England, they're probably the best known Romanian side, I would say. We have lost to Burton Albion. We didn't deserve it in the second half. So I'm just going to say I'm not pleased. Most of them motivated. And the next fixture is after the start of the January window. So we might have to start a little bit of wheeling and dealing then. Particularly off camera between the Swindon and Hull games. But let's just try and get ahead to that next one first. And finish off the evening with a better result than that ideally. Thank you for everyone coming in as well. I just saw Nathan Jones denying Sunderland interest there. He's not going to leave Luton for a lower division team, is he? I mean, surely you don't make the same mistake twice of leaving a club. Let's go and have a look at him. I mean, I'm sure his loyalty rating is probably quite low after the offence of the last year. Let's see. Where are Luton out of curiosity? They're 11th. Doing really well. So it's pretty much where we are in real life with a few less games played. How many's Collins got? 7 goals for him. Sluga's the key man in goal and he's improving well. Started for Croatia in the first game in the internationals. Look, a decent side. It's a massive squad because of the lack of under-23s. Oh look, they signed Gareth McCleary. We thought about signing him, didn't we? Did they bring anyone else in? Doesn't look like it. I really do want to do a save with Luton this year. Even if it doesn't win the live stream vote, I might pick one of the others or whoever finished second and do like a Christmas mini-series with them. Thank you for the extra thumbs up. Thank you for the extra views. It's great to have you all along this evening. I really can't tell you how much I appreciate the support I've had, not just for the videos, but for the live streams as well. Towards the end of FM20, it was sort of the same 5 or 6 of us every week. And now we've got a lovely growing community. It does make such a difference. And I can't thank you all enough for being here. But we've got one more game to play and the transfer window's opening as well. So Swindon Town will be the opponents. And it's, to be fair, 4 away games in 5 games. Which we won well. And we picked up some away results. We can't argue. We need to see which in-game version of leaving the EU we've had. So it looks like the most common one. 17 for a player limit, but non-foreign players have special treatment until January 24. So that's fine at the moment. Are we linked with anyone? Not yet. Sunderland linked with Quinton Fortune as manager. Perry NG to QPR. He was rated really well last year. He is this year as well. Became a bit of a star from, can't remember who it was, who did the FIFA save, and Perry NG became a bit of a star from it. But yeah, he's a good player. So I'm just trying to work out, have we got any budget? Have we got anything available? Not really. So considering we're in a great position financially, we're Tycoon owned. Shall I just go and ask and see what happens? Let's go to the finances, ask for a transfer budget, and just see what happens. The worst they can say is no, isn't it? Hopefully, because we're overachieving so much, they'll see the opportunity and I can sell them the dream. Oh good, your upload's finished so you can watch again now. Samurai, thank you for coming back. Good to see you here. We're creeping up towards 20 views at this stage. Is incredible. It's such a shame I'm back to work again next week, because I'd love to have done this every day. Right, the board have rejected the transfer budget. Solomon Otterbourne signed a deal. That's good. I would like to, as without significant investment, the club risks going backwards. We agree. Right, we've got a Tycoon here. We want to see. Please let us know if you would like us to go ahead with the suggested amount. I don't know what the suggestion is. So what have we been added? Was it just me or did I not see there? What has it been increased to? It's at the top. We'll save it till last. The next click of the button here has become third for manager of the month there, despite a couple of late defeats. We are about to get the biggest moment of this series, probably. Let's click on it. How much of a budget have we been given? Oh, ho, ho, ho. £5 million. You beautiful man. What a legend. He's given us loads. And we can now really push for promotion. We're in a good position with a solid squad. So let's get to these scout reports, see who the best are, and bring them in. What we're also going to do is go to these players that we've got on loan, because at the moment we can't fit them all in the matchday squad. So we're just going to make inquiries to see if we can sign any of them. And obviously once we get some offers for some, we can talk to their agents and use that new feature too. So let's get in and do all of that. I don't think with Billy Gilmore or Jack Clark will have an opportunity, because they're both on loan from Premier League clubs and massive prospects. But certainly, that is a fantastic outcome from that. I feel like we had one more on loan. Is somebody injured? Oh, it's Craney, isn't it, who's not registered? But I think we're going to send him back now, to be honest. Oh, we can't send him back. In which case, we might as well look at bringing him in. See how much we can get him in for. I like to keep the careers of Luton players going. Let's finally get to the scout reports as well. See if we can get any big ones in. But that is a massive moment. Craig for Wales, Lockyer on the bench, Norrington Davis and Morel start. So I think that's the opposite way round to the last game. Although they've only had two, I think, haven't they? Norrington Davis was on the bench, wasn't he, the first game? Because Ben Davis played. I think Morel started and I think Lockyer started. Formed a good little partnership with Joe Roden there, actually. So in terms of current ability, Jed Steer is top and he's a goalkeeper. So I don't know when that report's from a month ago. He wants too much money. That's the problem. Happy to come on loan, but we haven't got any more loan spaces in the squad. And they want us to pay 12 grand a week, which isn't happening. Let's see what the same was for Lee Grant. 15 grand a week is not happening. Baba Traore on a free? No. So we haven't really got many good options. I will go and have a look at Spurs, because obviously they're our parent club. Just to see if there's any players we can tempt. So like a Gazaniga, for example. Tottenham will let him come, but only for 10 grand a week. I will change a bit of that over to wage budget, actually. So let's get it up to there. Oh, we could do with a bit higher than that. I know 10 grand a week for Gazaniga is extortionate. But he's such a difference at that level. But I think it's still too much. Who else have we got on the transfer and loan list there? We have got Eric Lamella's not going to come here. Where's Joe Roden? Has he been dropped to the 23s? Because that could be a genuine option just for half a season. Doesn't want him to leave. Oh, it's frustrating. What about Tanganga? Be too good again, wouldn't it? Yeah. So those two rejects. And there's not much else there. Former hero Dylan McCanday at Cliftonville. But not good enough for us at the moment. And not a position we need. So let's just get ahead to Swindon. Get through the last game. And I'll do the rest of that off camera. Craig, same way, sorry. Can you check all the English leagues loaded? We'd like to see how clubs are doing. Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll do it as a big end of season thing. We'll do it as a proper look back. I might even make a video just to review it. Tottenham are bottom of the Premier League. 14 games played, 5 points. I don't think we need to look at the rest, because look at that. Burnley and Spurs the wrong way round there. Burnley up in 5th. Tottenham bottom. Michael O'Neill's in charge. That'll give Craig a sleepless night, and if Charlie sees this, he will be jumping for joy. Michael O'Neill has got the Tottenham job after Jose Mourinho sacked. So what does that mean for Carl Stoke? They've got David Hibbert, whoever that is. He's a caretaker. So are they negotiating with anyone? No. Well, I did not expect to see that. That's as much shock as we can take, really. But there's going to be a lot of work setting scout reports and assignments when we're off camera here. Thank you for everyone that's still coming along as well. Great to have you all here. Craig's devastated by the Michael O'Neill news. Yeah, I really don't get it, Samurai. Spurs have been so underrated in this game. Whoever their researcher is has not really probably done them justice, I wouldn't have thought. It seems wrong for them to be so far off, though. It doesn't often happen. Just trying to look at players we can make available again. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. Really, we could do with another young star, an under 21. Owen Evans picks up a knock. That's not so important. Otterbourne only won 3 days. So they're both going to miss the Swindon match. The board are delighted because we were expected to go down. But the takeover has been a bit of luck for us. We'll praise Lang's training. Just going off the boil into a goal drought again now. Carl, absolutely. Craig, typical Levy, yeah. I'm not sure who your manager is. He must be at the club somewhere, Dave Hibbert. I recognise the name. I'm sure he's in your coaching team. But he's only a caretaker, so he won't have the job long term. Let me take Owen Evans out of the 23s. Anyone else I could put in? Probably Gary Roberts, to be honest. He's not really had a look in recently. And Cal Naismith, the same goes for him. But we have to get winning ways back to Swindon here. I'm going to offer 150 grand for Tilt. They've asked for 275. They've taken it. Good. Curtis Tilt on a permanent would be a lovely deal for us. And he'd be good enough to be a backup if we got up and stayed up as well. So let's start the negotiations there. We can ask him to be a regular starter. And his wage demands are fairly reasonable. So let's see what we can get him down to. We'll try and be a little bit more modest. I don't like the team of the year bonuses and things like that because they're the ones that can eat your finances without noticing. So we'll try and creep up. 3.2. And you get to see just how stubborn I am in some of these transfer negotiations and wages. I'd be a nightmare for most players. Let's get it back down to 25. They're not going higher. I can promise you that. We'll give him 25 quid a week more on the appearance fee as well. 3.5, and if you don't accept that, you're going to annoy me. 1 grand up there, half a grand up there. Now be very grateful for what I've offered you. Good boy. There we go. What was his agent's name? Dan Garner or something. Tilt himself, though, a hero. Wasn't even in the room, and he's going to be joining us. Will Keane, we'll set him for release. He's out in a week's time. He's barely kicked a ball for us. Offer bought, they don't want to sell him. I can understand that from a Bournemouth point of view. But even just one more loan space in the squad freed up is good. Prasoon, hello, welcome along. Samurai, hopefully the full game does them justice. Yeah, they'll have a little upgrade. Won the Prem with Millwall 26. You got through 6 seasons already. Fair play. Next up, Champions League. Should have put Rory Delap in caretaker mode, yeah. Definitely. Maybe he's a throwing coach. Lost in the quarterfinals of the UCL to Atletico Madrid. Matias Arezzo, a hero for us in the head coach last year. Camavinga, wow, you got some good players there. That's the thing with a player search screen though, you can find them. So let's go and rotate this squad a bit back to first choice. I'm going to play Tilt, but Shotton will come back in. Satut will come back in. Billy Gilmore will come back in for Evans, who's been poor actually, and Tunnicliffe replaced by... Palmer can't play. It's against his parent club. So I'm going to have to drop that. It will be Evans and Gilmore. In midfield, Duffy, Hines, Lang. I'd like to get one of the informed ones in there, but I can't really do it yet. Jack Clark, perhaps? Back in for Hines. I'm a bit worried at the back. Tom Pearce will get a game at left back. I'll leave Tilt unfit. I don't really want all 3 of them in midfield. So I think Offerball will replace with Sanchez. Just to give us that physicality back. I've got 1 extra lone player in the squad, but I can put Abate on the bench for Johnson. I can put Joel Lynch on the bench for Palmer. And then that means Tunnicliffe can come in for Offerball. And Offerball could still be on the bench, in fact. So let's take Joe Garner off, I think. Or Hines. Or Palmieri. I think that's the best we can do. With Tilt potentially off a knock, I'm going to leave Lynch on the bench in case. But I think that's what we're going to go for. Last game of the day. Let's see if we can finish on a positive. Swindon Town v Wigan Athletic. And I'm sure a win would get us back in that top 2. Carl, he does the set pieces training at Stoke. They're so effective from them at the moment as well. Presume I'm having this formation that you're using, just the roles are different. See, I loved the Mazzala until last year and it didn't really work, so I fell out of love with it a bit, but it can work. It's definitely a good one. But just for this, I mean, the players I've got suit box to box a little more, which is the main reason. Shot on with the long throw. Can we get another one in? Lang's up with the keeper. And the keeper does very well there, to be fair. He's another United youngster, I think, Kovar, isn't he? Sure, I recognise that name. And 4-2-3-1 I really struggled with last year. As Smith's in behind, it's a good block by the defender. Tilt it was who got there. And after 5 minutes, it's been a bit end-to-end. But it is Swindon who have had the best chance. We are still in second as it stands, but not the best start to the day. As Pearce picks it up at left back to Tilt. He goes down long down the field, sorry. Lang loses the header, but it falls for Duffy. Great through ball for Lang. He's 1-on-1. Oh, he's coming into a goal drought again. It's very bad timing for it. Thank you for everyone who stuck with me for your support this evening. Please do check out the Bangor City video after if you haven't seen it yet. Please do catch up with the head coach if you haven't yet. It really does make such a difference. Your support's been incredible. And we passed 1,500 subscribers yesterday as well. And I think we've already gained another 15 or so. So thank you so much. We've conceded from a corner yet again. And it's not the first header, it's the knockdowns. We've just not got that anticipation in the box. I'm going to demand more, but away from home, we're looking a bit dodgy. It's a good job we're winning nearly every home game, because we're in big trouble otherwise. As Gilmore puts the free kick in. Duffy's header's in, second for the club. Good lad. It's interesting actually to note, we've not had any kick clash problems in any of the series other than Bangor City. Those that have been following that one will know that we've had loads of problems with it. But in the head coach with Breakin, here in England with Wigan, we've not had any issues at all. Really is quite bizarre. This year, the long throws go too high to another planet. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. It doesn't look right. I mean, the effectiveness of it and the chaos it causes is right. But yeah, I agree. For someone like Shotton with the long flat throw, it doesn't look like that on the animation. But generally, the match engine's much improved, so I can't complain much. And it is only a beta. As Pearce wins it back, clears long downfield. Lang holds up. He's got a man over on the left in Duffy, the goal scorer. Can we get ahead before half time? Gilmore loves a through ball. Can he find one outright? He's got a man over. Jack Clark always plays well when he's in the team. He gets there. Gilmore's knackered already. Duffy's up again. Michael Duffy, you guys said he was a decent signing. He's been more than decent so far, but Jack Clark the hero. And we lead 2-1. We've turned it around here. and an away win would not go amiss. If we could get 2 away wins in addition to the home one, I'd argue 9 points out of 15 is pretty good. I don't think we can argue with that. So we're going to pump the fist. We're going to ask for them to keep improving, keep working hard. It's the usual suspects doing well, to be honest. But I would like another goal. We could do with that long throw coming back again. As Lydon gets it wide to Paul Caddis. Really experienced Scottish player. Into the box. Satoot heads down. It's not away though, and Hunt picks it up on the left. Satoot closes in, but it's back to the edge. Flicked in, Tilt clears away. And Lang will hold up. Here, can we get another deadly counter on? Evans through to Lang. Has to get in here. He's into the box. His shot's poor. Cannot end that goal drought, can he? Have you settled on the 4-1-2-2-1 as formation as you normally do a 4-2-4? I mean, I only do a 4-2-4 because it worked last year with the teams I had, as we conceded a ridiculous goal to make it 2-2. But it was chance. Dorkin, the player, suited it because we had a brilliant front four at the start. Who else are we looking at? We had Cliftonville, it just worked. We were so good, we were so attacking, he had to go for it. We've got a corner here with Gilmore, into the back post, and it's cleared away. Oh, it's not cleared away. Falls for Tilt. What a goal from Curtis Tilt. He might be signing permanently after this, and he celebrates in style. Don't forget with Macclesfield last year, we played 4-3-3 or 4-5-1, whatever you want to call it. Similar to this one here. So it depends on the players. I'm adaptable. We're playing a narrow diamond with Bangor City. We're playing a flat 4-4-2 with Brechin. It depends on the club. It's the beauty of the head coach is you often shuffle a lot more. Whereas in a one-club series, you get a bit more settled. But no tactics set in stone. If we find, let's say in this window, we found 3 brilliant number 10s, we'd get rid of the holding midfielder and play a number 10. There's no problem in doing that. So I'm just looking at the legs for this. Sanchez has actually had a good game. So I'm going to rest the other 2. Offerbore on as a box-to-box. Tunnicliffe on as a playmaker. Not that it's his most natural. And I think I have to take Lang off, I'm afraid. It will be Caelan Hines. Or will it be Garner? No, Joe Garner on. Let's rest Hines and then he can play at the weekend. 3-2 to Wigan, 15 to go. Can we hold on? It'd be a great win. We're still in that top 2. We're still clinging on. Hull up next are in 3rd. It's basically a clash for that place. As Shotton's got the long throw. Can he wrap it up? Into the back post, straight at the keeper. He's hit him a few too many times with that long throw. And it's a shame you can't really direct the long throw to near post, far post, whatever. Because a few of them too close to the keeper. As Offerball wins it back high to Duffy. First cross is blocked. Second one in towards Garner. His header straight at the keeper. That could have been it. It really could have been. 4 minutes of stoppage time to go. And Kovar goes long downfield. Tilt heads away. Only as far as Stevens though on the right. He tries to take on Pearce. Pearce up with him, gets the block in, and Tunnicliffe's back there to help out. Excellent work. Through ball to Garner. He's 1-on-1. Has to score. Oh, he's put it wide. He's put it wide again. And I'm going to have to go time wasting. Because we've already seen what happens in the first game when we don't do that. We've already had a few difficult days. We're still going to counter press, but everything else will drop. And there we go. 4 minutes of stoppage time. Can we hold on for the 3-2 win? It's been one of our worst defensive displays. But we are going to get the result. We are going to stay in second place. And I think 3 wins and 2 defeats, with 4 of the games being away from home. We have to take that, I think. It's a really good result. There we go. We're in second place as we move into the transfer window. Let's just pop back and confirm the deals and confirm when we're going to be back. So Blackpool, 10 games unbeaten. Their away run continues. Sorry, they drew at Bristol Rovers. That's a good result. Tilt inspires Wigan. We'll go and praise him because he's certainly been very good at what he does. Oh, he's not happy with it. Recruitment completed for a keeper. Where's Fotheringham's the other one? He's at Sheffield United, having moved from Rangers in the summer. But he wants too big a wage. A ball-playing defender, Gonzalo Cardozo. 20-year-old at West Ham. Again, a lone player. And I can't really drop either of the centre-halves because Shotton's the goal threat. Craney, they want 5 grand. Tunnicliffe, 38. So if we can get him for half, which is 20 grand, that's a great deal. 20 grand for Tunnicliffe, and then we can leave Craney. So that's it for me. Let's go ahead to the schedule. We've obviously got some January work to do off the pitch. But other than that, we will be back for the whole game, at the weekend. A massive one, a second play third. We've then got 4 more games in a January window, so we'll try and get through as many of them as possible. And although the whole game's crucial, I'm just looking and thinking there's 11 days off after. So maybe we'll show one less game, because Northampton away is not the biggest one, and we can play 3 or 4 off camera then. But we'll be back the same time tomorrow at 5:30. Thank you all for your incredible support this evening. I hope you come along again tomorrow. If you haven't yet, please chuck a thumbs up on it. Thank you for being so involved in the chat. Thank you for all of your support, both on the videos and on the live streams. And I'll see you tomorrow at 5:30 again. And in the meantime, the head coach back tomorrow at 3:30. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves.